Hello everybody, I'm Robert Chiusardi, the creator of Blockchain Kingdoms, and in this video I'm going to talk about how our tokens are going to become the most valuable tokens on the market. The thing is, a lot of the blockchain space it has problems. It has problems with speculative value, it has problems with transactional value. There are some chains that are very functional, like Ethereum. You can run essentially programs on Ethereum. It does cost units of gas. And the problems with blockchain is that right now to transact or essentially run anything on a blockchain, it can cost money in terms of the transaction. And Ethereum keeps going up and up, and it's just not sustainable. Even the creator of Ethereum, he's looking at like trying to find ways to offload the overhead on Ethereum so that the costs go down for transactions. And he's talking about different methods, sharding. He's talking about actually just like taking the processing off of the blockchain until you need to put it onto the blockchain for transactionals. We actually are thinking of doing possibly something similar. But I think these are all very short-term problems. When you look at the blockchain space right now, it's like the wild, wild west. Things are changing. It is a lot of people liken it to the dot-com area where things kept changing very rapidly. Yahoo was doing well early in the beginning, then it wasn't quite so much in the middle, and now it's still around kind of. So we're in a space of flux right now with blockchain, and I was looking at all the directions I thought it was heading in, and where was the place to be with it. And I thought the place to be with blockchain was to find a way to just really create a tremendous amount of value. And I thought, what is the greatest amount of value you can provide to people is jobs. I mean, sure, you can have a place where the rich can invest in rich tokens and just keep getting richer, but does that really provide value to everyone? It just creates more liquidity amongst the rich and just allows them to essentially play more money games. But how do we create a way to grow a market that is of service to people for jobs? And I thought the easiest, simplest answer was video games. I'm a video gamer. I've always known that type of technology was possible. So why don't I just do it? So I looked at all these problems I saw with the blockchain space, and the way I thought, I think that eventually the transaction costs for blockchains are going to become basically nil, and so those really won't be a big deal. I don't think Bitcoin actually has a long-term future because it doesn't have intrinsic value. I may be wrong about this. We'll have to see how that plays out. But I do know that blockchain kingdoms will eventually surpass Bitcoin in value because it's been designed to do that. It might take 4 years, it might take 6 years, heck, it might even take 10 years, I'm not sure. But when we created perpetual organic value and the virtual supply chain, did it to eclipse all the other systems of blockchain. So I make plenty of other videos about how that particular technology works. I'm not going to go into what organic perpetual value is. I'm not going to go into what the virtual supply chain is. I do have other videos for that describes mechanically and instrumentally how those work. But the problems I was trying to solve was getting jobs into the hands of gamers. I realized if you could turn gamers into a workforce, they would be potentially one of the biggest workforces in the world. And you might be thinking like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? Like, who's going to make the food? Who's going to deliver things? Who's going to stock the shelves? And my answer is automation. We've been progressively automating things over time. Humans are really good at this. We're good at making things easier so we have to do less. And we're really reaching a point in the world where more people on the planet are enjoying automation than anyone in any generation ever before. There's still a lot of poverty across the planet, and I believe these problems can all be solved through automation as well. And I think we can answer a lot of our scarcity problems through other solutions. So I'm not going to go into that because it's a much bigger conversation about technology, but I saw in the immediate future, in the next 5 or 10 years, the biggest service we could provide people is the option to have virtual jobs, play games from home, and earn money. And so essentially, I invented a technology that almost seems like magic, the way it's designed to operate. And if you're kind of like a scientist, like me, I guess I kind of self-style myself as at least a like a economic scientist. And you'd be like, well, it's a good theory. Prove it. So all you scientists out there, yes, I am in the progress of proving this theory. For me, it is a fact that this is something I'm building, and this is something I'm going to accomplish with these tokens. And I have other videos that describe this line of thinking and how it mechanically operates, because it is kind of perceptive. The one of the ways that we're going to become the most powerful tokens in the world and become the most powerful economic token system on the planet is that we've recognized the fact that the value of something is in its belief. If something has a perceived value, somebody will pay that perceived value for it. So when I invented the virtual supply chain, I looked for a way to invent a can't lose strategy around value. Gamers would play the games and they would see the value. The job creators would see the value in hiring the gamers, and they would also see value in investing on the back end. So every time someone looks at this from any angle, they're kind of like, well, that's a smart idea. This is a smart idea. It's a smart idea to play. It's a smart idea to invest. It's a smart idea to own the tokens and employ gamers. So that's how I've created the technology. And there are going to be plenty of challenges ahead of us to making this happen. It's we're still in the early days. It's November 7th, 2020 right now, and I'm pretty sure I'm facing what's going to be the easiest challenges I'm ever going to have to face raising money for this company. And the way I see it, all the greatest challenges are ahead of us, but every time we surpass one of those future challenges is just another lap in making this the most valuable token in the world, because it's going to provide the greatest amount of value. Bill Gates has a saying, which is if you really want to have a platform, then you create more value than you capture. And when I've looked at a lot of other systems, I see many of them, not all of them, but many of them are designed to really just capture more value than they actually create. I think Ethereum actually creates more value than it captures. But we wanted to do something very similar. We wanted to create a system that captures some value to do what we're doing, to reward the investors who invest with us. But in the long term, our platform, Blockchain Kingdoms, is going to generate far more value for its users, for its job creators, and for its investors than the company itself. And that's just the way we've designed it. We've designed this to make sure that everybody else gets not the better end of the stick, because it's an economy. So, but that we're all getting a good end of the stick, and that we're all creating liquidity inside of this job market. And then it grows up to a point where if you just want to snap your fingers and become a part of it, either as a gamer, or if you have money to invest, or job creator, investor, you have that option. So that's how we're going to become the most valuable token economy in the world. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm Robert Trusardi.